What's up, bro?
Hello, sir.
Just need my headphones on if I want to be able to hear.
Wait.
What's up?
I gotta default my speaker back. All right, I should be able to hear you now.
What it is?
What's up, brother? This is my my new office. So
Looks good. How's it
usually
feeling?
home studio. This is now the new ProCare office. So got it all set up, got it all spiffy. Most of it done. Still got a few things to do.
Love it.
Love it, love it.
Love it, love it. All right, man.
Man.
Well, I'm great. Doing great. I'm at the same time I gotta get a tax strategist in my life, and I think we have one now, but man, it's like I'm 2 years too late on this.
You need a tax strategist? Is that what you said?
Yeah. For all you out there, once you start making seven figures, you need to talk to a tax strategist, not a tax preparer.
Yeah, you need one if you're making multiple six figures.
I'm going to be paying.
If you own a home and own a business and a multiple six figures, you need one.
Yeah, I'm paying a six-figure bill from 2024, and I'll have another one for 2025. And so, if you don't want to pay the government, which not that I don't trust them with my money, but I don't trust them with my money. I feel like they're going to send it to some schmuck who doesn't deserve it. But I digress. And again, that's part of the whole thing of ascension to the apex. Is a lot of things you don't need to think about on your way to the top. Which is why, like, if you're going to go to Mount Everest, it's illegal for you to go by yourself. You have to have the Sherpas who are trained and know all the ins and outs of the mountain and all that other stuff. Well, yeah. Just like anytime you're trying to ascend any mountain,
a good precaution. You know,
it's a good idea to have some guidance and not go blind, right? And so you can get lucky. Somebody has to blaze the trail, right? There is a trailblazer way to do it, but man, that's the whole shot, 1 in a million type of thing versus following a proven system that has tons and tons and tons of documented success, right? And that's really the feedback we've been getting on our shorts. So we chop these episodes up and put them out in smaller bite-sized pieces. Not everybody has Tuesday at 12 p.m. Mountain, 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern open on their calendar, right? And so you may or may not be able to tune into what we're talking about, but there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. This week we had Clear Spring exit the market, which probably didn't affect you any unless you had some clients in Georgia and happened to have them on that plan.
Clear
Spring. But yeah, for us, we have I think it's like 90 combined that we're having to move before June 1st. And so
you got plenty of time. That's not bad.
Well, no, it's not bad at all, and it's an opportunity to move the override from Schmuck City to the promised land.
And re-hit on upsells if you didn't upsell those people already.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm usually pretty good on the front side upsell, but yeah, no, I agree. It's part of the deal, though. And that it's a testament, staying in tune with the vibes of a carrier. Like it can happen. A plan could exit mid-year. Some other event could happen, a catastrophic tornado or hurricane or other acts of God they put in there. Acts of God, in my experience, are negative typically.
Yeah, right.
People talk about an act of God. So it's like the opposite to me. That there's no way that's an act of God per se, right? But because in my experience, acts of gods are good things that lift people up, that challenge them. Now, it may feel like, just like when a father's being a father or a mother's being a mother, the discipline feels like an attack at the time, right? But in reality, the rough water is typically merited and needed.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, bro. You had your birthday
yesterday. Yeah,
how was that?
It was good, man. It was. I worked all day. It was fucking Monday. You know what I mean?
I know.
I worked all day. I did some trainings. I did some team meetings. I ran a couple appointments, and then I picked up my daughter, and then we went out to Texas Roadhouse, brother.
There you go. I can't beat that,
dude. I love Texas Roadhouse, man. I was literally eating a steak. It cost me like $40 for the steak, and I was like, we just went to Charlie's, right? Charlie's phenomenal. Charlie's is great. Without a doubt. Burns, Charlie's, all those places, Ruth's Chris, all great, right? And I was just eating this steak, and I was like, I'll tell you right now, It's not much better than this steak that I'm eating at Texas Roadhouse, though. I just gotta be honest with you. It's fucking not. I mean, and I kind of prefer the vibes at Texas Roadhouse, like country music and everything's wood, and people are singing and dancing and stuff. And I'm like, I like this vibe. It's not stuffy. It's whatever. I'm not bougie. Like I'm bougie, but I'm not bougie. You know what I mean? But I'm like, I just like it.
Well, my guess is you're probably similar to me. Then, did you grow up with money?
No. Well, yes and no. Like I grew up with money, but my dad is like, you know, my mom is Portuguese and my dad's Swedish, but my dad is like, they're both FOB, fresh off the boat. So I'm first generation American, and my mom grew up wealthy. My dad grew up broke, right? So then, but my dad is just like old school Swede, man. He's a sailor his whole life. That's what he did his whole life, is work on boats. So he was like, that's my money. That ain't your money. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we grew up in like, we always lived in golf course neighborhoods. We were always in new builds and all that shit. But like, we didn't get money. Now I had to buy my first book. Like my first bike, I had to buy it myself. And I did a whole podcast on this. I fished out golf balls and I repainted them. And then I took the sleeves out of the trash cans and put them back in the sleeves and sold them back to golfers. And I made in 1987 some $380 so I could buy this 10-speed that I wanted, that I saw Kevin Bacon ride in Silver Streak on HBO, right? And I was like, I get this bike where it flips the freaking handlebars and whatnot. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be the coolest ever, right? And my dad was like, I'm not buying that for you. Figure it out. And I was like, okay, I'll figure it out. And that's what I did. My brother was a really good artist, so he'd repaint Titleist and Pro Flight and all that stuff on the balls. I mean, obviously the golfers knew what was going on, but I was going in gator-infested water at the time. We were living in Panama City Beach, Florida, in an area called Bay Point, in a subdivision.
Yeah, that's a little more extreme of ball retrieval for sure.
Yeah, no, it was crazy, dude. And like, but when you're a kid, you don't know. You don't give a shit. Like, you're like, gators, that's cool. You're like, oh, yeah, this is cool. Like now, kids are like, oh my god, absolutely not. There's flies outside. I'm not going outside, right? Like, it was different, you know. When we talked about this when we were kids, it was way different the way you were raised and what you could do and all that stuff. But yeah, man, that's like, I literally have been in sales since I was 7 years old. Like 7 years old, I figured out really quick, what do people want? How can I get it? And how can I put a premium on it to where I make something off of it? I don't have to make a lot, but if I sell enough of it, I'll make a lot. So how can I build volume? I understood the value of a dollar at a very young age. And by the value of a dollar, folks, what I mean by that is everybody's like, well, I value the dollar. I said, I guarantee you don't value the dollar as much as me. I learned at a very young age that a dollar is more than just a dollar. A dollar is an opportunity, and that opportunity can grow into more dollars. And you have to, and I understood burn rate as a young kid. I was like, okay, I could wash cars and make like $3. And I'm out there and I'm washing cars. And if it sucks, they're going to make me wash it again. And I could mow lawns. But if it sucks, I got to mow it again because I'd like one of those push mowers, right? And I thought, the golf balls I'm selling for $5 a sleeve, right? And it takes me literally no time. I'm literally just walking around playing soldier with a golf ball retriever on my back. And I'm stopping by every pond on the golf course. I lived on the golf course and I just fish them every day. I get 40, 50 balls a day. And then I would just drop them off my brother. He would paint them. I'd split the profits with him. $5 a sleeve. I'm making $100 in a week, right? And I'm like, this is nothing. I mean, I literally got the bike within a month, dude. It wasn't even hard. And then I took the money that was left over and I bought candy. And then I took the candy to school and I sold it.
Yeah.
So then I started boop, 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 boop. And then I'd buy fireworks and then I'd sell the fireworks. And it was like all these things that I would think of, like, how could I sell? Even like blue crabs, they always on the docks, right? I would get the blue crabs, put them in buckets and be like selling blue crabs to tourists. Like, you know, I was like, whatever, man, like whatever I could do to kind of figure out a way. And it wasn't even that I needed the money, because I didn't, you know, I didn't need the money, but I was addicted to stretching the dollar. I was addicted to the flip of being like, I was addicted to entrepreneurship at a very young age, right? Kind of ruined me for corporate America, but maybe for a good reason. So I don't know. That's my little side tangent there.
That's cool, bro. Yeah. I like that. I like that. Yeah, it's very opposite for me. Completely different. Everything. I use my powers for evil first before I learned to use them for good. Mischief. I was very mischievous kid. Getting in a little bit of trouble here, a little bit of trouble there. But yeah, no, the skill set of figure it out works both ways. In fact, I would say some of the smartest people I ever met were in jail. It's just unfortunate they took every bit of their talent that God gave them and turned it into being a criminal. And some of the stuff I learned, I'm like, geez, I never even thought of that. But yeah, business is business, whether you're selling cars or golf balls or drugs or whatever it is, legally or illegally. It's all supply and demand dynamics, and it's understanding, what is the supply. Same thing with like insurance, and that's what I always try to tell people. Like, it's hard for me to look someone in the eye and say I'm building my own business, because I'm really not. I'm building a direct sales business, and direct sales means you don't have your own product, and I'm selling someone else's product. So it's basically what we call a middleman. I'm a middleman between the insurance company and the client. However, just from this ClearSpring thing, I've sat with 10 people in the last 2 days who all need to change their plan and are all thankful, all made statements of how much impact myself or my office has directly had on their lives, making the process of navigating Medicare each year, a good one, in that there's a human to call. And that's the AI is awesome. The thing that AI can never do is create a relationship, and a real relationship. And a real relationship has ups, it has downs, it has fights, it has crying, it has happiness, it has all those human emotions go into being human. And when they say artificial intelligence, we have to think about it. Their intelligence is intelligence. And you and I would think, in your experience, I don't know, but in mine, the smartest people I knew had very, very, very little personality left. Their whole horsepower went into the intelligence side, which is what AI is. It's intelligence. It's categorizing and organizing information with speed and accuracy, with the accuracy not always being there. There is a human element of AI, right? But we've talked a lot about that in the last few podcasts of, are you leveraging AI? Are you using AI? That's like the latest, hottest topic thing. Cloning
that's
yourself.
why we talk about it so much, because it's relevant to the industry and the world we live in today. And it's, the object isn't, again, Josh, this as well as I do, the object isn't to replace you. It's to get more people to you. It's to filter and funnel more people to you, and you removing yourself from that process of funneling people. You're removing the marketing process. You can't take away the personality, like you're saying, right? Like if they're teaching, I just read I get these updates every day on like what's going on with AI, right? And Anthropic is dumping in billions of dollars into teaching Claude how to dream. I thought that was fucking scary. To dream, meaning that your AI will have dreams when you're not using it. Which is it's kind of like a very humanizing touch, right? Because a robot dream.
Well, I don't know what the benefit to that would be. You know what I mean? I can't hear anything all of a sudden. Can you hear me? You can hear me, okay. It made a weird, yeah, there you go.
It's good.
Now I can hear you.
Okay. No worries. New office, new setup. It's going to happen. But no, it's weird how they have these things going on with AI. But no, the point is like, you want to remove the marketing part, that 80%. That's not that you don't need to do, right? Most of us are hiring people.
Well, that you haven't been doing anyway. Right?
Most people aren't doing it, right? But,
and so if it can put an agent who normally wouldn't, and that's the thing. I think of it like performance. To me, it's like mental steroids. It's a performance enhancing tool, not a replace me tool. Like if the whole idea is to like the ads I keep seeing are this company that wants me to clone myself, which is very attractive on some levels, right? To clone yourself and have the clone do not like a clone like cloning a lamb like they've done, but like cloning you digitally, where now you can have a digital version of you that's pretty close but not quite. You can tell it. Like there's some agents I see using these things, and because I know them so well, I can see that it's fucking bullshit. It's not really them. But if I didn't know that person, that's the whole point here, is you're not You're not trying to advertise to your friends and family. That's the relationship side. What you're trying to do is you're trying to leverage AI to do all the things that you never could do before, like create HTML code for a website in minutes, create email templates, create automations, create you can create a virtual assistant, in essence, something that goes through and identifies in your inbox high priority items and stuff you can get rid of. And there's a whole litany of different things that you can use AI for. And what it is it's designed to replace employees.
Yeah.
And the problem with that in our country's model is that the whole thing was built on employees. And so, your ability, that's why Philippe and I aren't, if you can't tell, we're not worried, because we're entrepreneurs. And so whatever it is, fine, take away whatever, there's always still going to be the end point where a relationship's going to be what holds something together. Like in the old days, deals are done with a handshake. And like for people, like I know that's, if you were born after like 1995, that's probably like a mind-boggling concept to you, of being on your word, on your honor. But literally, some of probably the biggest deals in history were done with just a gentleman's agreement, they called it. And what does that come from? That really is the person who systematizes their process first has historically won the game. Where now that part's being equalized for everybody that's leveraging AI. But the thing is, it's kind of like an arms race. Like if you're just relying on basic someone else's AI, you're now at the mercy of the pace of the growth of that ChatGPT or Claude or whatever it is, which is why a lot of us leverage more than one, because it's kind of like people. Each AI has a strength and each AI has a weakness or two. And we all start to understand and see those things pretty quickly. But the reality is that the ascension to Apex is not for the masses. Like our message is not for everybody. Our message is for those who know to use Coach Bert's phrasing, they know they're a level 4 talent, or excuse me, a level 10 talent stuck in a level 4 opportunity. And if that's you, then AI is one of those things you can leverage very quickly nowadays. Have AI write your resume, have AI give you the response question that you most likely will get, and start practicing and doing reps on how the interview is going to go. But reality is the big companies, if they haven't already, very shortly you're like, if you interview at one of those companies, I almost bet you're going to interview with some AI thing.
Yeah.
But the end deal, though, the end deal for any important position will still be finalized by a human. And that's as an insurance agent, that's the whole goal right now is your capital right now is no longer knowledge. It's no longer being able to help them compare plans. It's no longer any of that. It's your ability to create a relationship with a human, that being a single point of contact, that who over time become, like for me, there's a reason why I look at everybody as family. I treat everybody as family. It's because family is one of the few relationships that I know that lasts through almost anything. Right. And so, the family relationship that I have with my clients allows me in these moments, like when a ClearSpring pulls out, even if ClearSpring calls them, which I had 3 people today say, hey, ClearSpring called me and tried to get me to change my plan. I said, well, that wasn't ClearSpring, because ClearSpring has nothing to offer. But that tells you already that there's sharks in the water just trying to randomly call people, or somehow they'll get the data, because you have to remember, in today's world, getting data is probably pretty easy. And so anybody with a good AI tool who has a low-lying fruit, like a friend who works at ClearSpring, who can then get them the data, all you need is a list of names and whatnot. And now all of a sudden you can start to attack that. But what AI can't attack and can't penetrate is a relationship. And what I would tell you is it's no different than if you've ever lost a sale to some other agent because that other agent was somebody's nephew or niece or friend, or my cousin's brother's sister just got licensed. I've probably heard that a dozen times in my career of why they were not going to work with me after letting me go through all the rigmarole, doing all the work.
Yep.
And then they let somebody else cash in on the fruit. But the normal average consumer doesn't understand the dynamics. They think that we're both getting paid. That I get paid for giving them the information, and then other person gets paid for, because the average
randomly you get sent a check, right? Like just randomly.
Well, but everybody assumes that we're an employee.
Yeah.
And, not like for me, Philippe, when I would drive around with my branded car, my branded logoed shirts and my branded everything, people will go, dang, your boss is really nice. They let you have a really nice, I was driving the Infiniti at the time, but that's a pretty nice work car. And everybody would say something, and then I wouldn't correct them. Because they'd say, your boss is pretty awesome. I'm like, yeah, he's pretty nice guy, knowing that it's me. Versus and that's what I tell them, let them have that. And so if you haven't read that book, let them. My wife turned me on to it. I've listened to like about half of it so far.
It's Mel Brooks, not Mel Brooks.
Mel Robbins. Yeah, I was thinking Mel Brooks too.
I heard a really good interview that she did on that. I need to read that book. It's
a solid book, man. The whole concept is just let them and then let me. So you let everybody else do what they're going to do and be who they're going to be. And instead of the guy chewing loudly on the airplane, ruining your day, and you're like, for a couple hours, just let him do that, put on headphones, and then let me worry about something else.
Stop worrying about other people and just handle your own shit, right? No, I love that. I saw her do a podcast on that, and she was talking about expectations and how let them theory with expectations exists because you kind of have these expectations that you put on other people. And then when people don't deliver, you get upset, but that person never knew your expectation to begin with. So why are you upset? Just let them do their thing and focus on you. That's on you. Move the fuck on, right? And I was just like, dude, I dig that because that's one of my biggest Wilsons, brother. Is I put an expectation, a high expectation on people because I have such a high expectation of myself.
Yep. But I don't
everybody else holds that expectation. So then when they don't deliver, I'm like, what a piece of shit. They fucked me over. And it's like, well, did they? Or did they even know that there was a level of expectation you were holding them to? And I'm like, well, it should be assumed. Why? Why should it be fucking assumed?
Because you assume it, right?
But I assumed it for myself. So I figured, well, everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants to be rich. Like everybody wants tons of clients and have impact and feel joy and fulfillment and love their family. No, not everybody does.
No. Some people just want to do whatever they want to do. And there's nothing wrong with it. And that's the reality is, like SWAT's coming up, so it's probably too late for you to go, but
I can't.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because every year they have this chart they draw. Maybe next week I'll do my.
When are you going? When is it?
It's May 28, 29, 30, I think it is. It's like 2 weeks from now.
Oh, I wouldn't be able to do that. I'll just be getting back from Detroit.
Yeah, 27, 28, 29, 30. That's what it is.
Dallas, right?
Dallas, yeah. This would be my 8th, 9th, maybe 10th time. I don't know. I've lost track.
Is Aaron going with you? You guys just going to go?
No, we're going together. We always go together. But yeah, they have this pyramid they draw, and it's changed over time because the numbers have changed. But you have the top 3%, and the next one's 7%, and then you have 26%ers, and then you have the 40%ers. But it's like the top 67%, the bottom 67% is most people. And, really to get into the ascension of it's the top 7% now. I think it's top 7. Those are the people that like you and I. And reality is, I don't know if everybody forgets how percentages work, but if let's say there's 7% of people that are highly productive and highly successful, that means there's 93% of people who aren't.
Yeah, that's about accurate, right?
And I don't know if you've sat in a room before, but let's say, think of the last classroom you were in, there's 30 people in there. That means there's 3 winners and 27 average or lower. Maybe slightly edging into the above average side, right? And there's nothing wrong. That's the whole point. It doesn't make you or I or them or anyone else better or worse than other people. That's just the reality of the numbers game that we play.
That's it. That's how large numbers work, man.
The 80-20 rule, where 80% of business is done by 20% of the agents. And it just keeps holding true. If you take the 80-20 and then you just look at the 20, the 80-20 rule is going to hold true in that pocket of people too. And 80% of the business done by that 20% is done by the top 20. and you can keep running up. That's where the top 1%, the top 1%, and you finally you eventually get to the top. There's in everything there is someone who is the best, but the thing is, the one of the constants in life is change, and the reality is, getting to the top is exponentially easier than staying at the top, in my experience. And the reason is, when you're on the way, it's almost as much the experience of getting to the top is as addictive and as rewarding and fulfilling as once you get to the top. It's kind of like if you look at an NBA player like Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, they'd win the trophy, and then literally like the next day, they're back in the gym working towards the next one. Because that dopamine hit when you get to the top, folks, only lasts for moments in comparison to the grind it takes. Like for me, it was like a 16-year grind to where I got to financial independence.
Yeah.
I started in the business January 10th of 2005. I didn't really make any money until 2019. 2020. It was 2020 when I really started to make money. I pushed over $500,000 that year. But back then I had no staff, and so it was just $500,000 of reward, right? And so and that's what happens as you get to the top like that. And I got there, like, people think it was fast. It was fast once I got into the field. But I would tell everybody, if you spent 14 and a half years working every position of an FMO, by golly, I really hope that you would explode like I did. Like it blew my mind as soon as I started doing production. Like, why is everybody not a gajillionaire? And the reality is 80-20 of the 80-20 of the 80-20 rule.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people like you and I, because of the habits we've built into what we do, the standards at which we hold ourselves to, our success looks and feels easy. And in some respects it is. And that's the whole game here is you put on the hard work, you just never know when your breakthrough is going to happen. And for some, it's handed to them. But reality is most people that have something handed to them lose it. Like, there's very rarely a story of someone who has something handed to them and then they learn all the skill sets that are required to get there so they can keep it. And like I said, so staying at the top is way harder. This is like winning the lottery. If you knew how to make $20 million, you wouldn't need the lottery. And I almost guarantee you find anybody making $20 million, they are not playing the lottery. They haven't bought a lottery ticket since forever ago, right? And so it's the reality is the systems and processes. And so systems and processes, all they really do is help you create a duplicatable task, right? Repeatable, like doing the dishes. I don't know about you, but I load the dishwasher the same way every time. Once I figure out a way that worked, and here's what I'll tell you, I almost guarantee you I load the dishwasher differently than Philippe does.
100%. I load it like shit, and then my wife goes back and reloads it.
Whatever it is, but it's different. But whether the dishes get in there or not, somebody else has a system or process that might or may work better than yours, but it doesn't matter because your system is your system. And so you got what you got. Let them, let me. And that whole concept, when we started applying and I really believe that's going to be the sway. Right now we have the pendulum swinging towards AI, but at some point the pendulum is going to swing back to human and swing back to relationships, swing back to the new, what it's been for the last 40 years, self-help books and all these other programs. Tony Robbins coming. Like, Tony Robbins didn't exist when I was a kid, but Tony Robbins is everywhere now. And there's been a process of once Tony Robbins started getting successful, what else became popular? Trying to duplicate what Tony Robbins does on some level, shape, or form, right?
Jim Rohn was around though, right? And Tony worked for Jim. I mean, that's where he learned everything from. He worked for Jim Rohn, and that's where he became Tony Robbins because he's been doing what he's been doing for 43 years. But right. He learned from Jim Rohn, who was the Tony Robbins of that time, He
commercializes that way better than Jim Rohn, though.
Yeah, but Jim Rohn's terrible to listen to. Like, Jim Rohn's voice makes me want to jump out of a window. And I love Jim Rohn. But listening to that voice, the way he kind of sings, I'm like, oh my God, man, it's rough listening to this, But Yeah, I think Tony delivers better than Jim, but Jim's great. I mean, his stuff is solid, right? His books are great.
Well, and that's the key here is there's a million different people who've done the same process and system that Tony and others have done. Tony's just been better at commercializing it, but here's what I'll tell you: there's a big pocket of people who hate Tony Robbins. There's a big pocket of people who hate Jim Rohn. There's a big pocket of people. It's all in your personal preferences, goals, personality, life experiences, right? They all mix together to create uniquely you. And that's the whole thing here that we want you to get is the Iron Apex. The whole hack here is it's not about us. It's about you. And it's like for me, it's about me. For Philippe, it's about Philippe. And that's how we got where we got was we took care of us first. Eventually, like for me, it was a long ass process. I'm sure it was for you too. Everybody goes through that.
Still is, right? I mean, it still is a process.
Wisdom is hard to get. That's why it's treasured. Okay, and so, but the whole concept of Iron Apex here is to give you the concepts, the tools, the ideas. Sometimes it's just about getting an idea, and so the idea then now sparks you to take action on blank. And so, what we want to do is try to inspire everybody. Once a week, twice every 2 weeks, like what is that, 4-6 times a month that we want to put time, energy, and effort into someone else. And what we want is some feedback from you. So if you watch the video, you watch the short, you watch the replay, don't just like, that helps us. Don't just share, that helps us.
Comment, right? Ask questions.
Comment, but reply back with, how can we help you?
Where are you stuck and what do you think is a problem, right? Because a lot of times what you view as a problem, someone else has a solution for it. Like, when we're in the problems, we tend to think that we're uniquely going through something that no one else has ever gone through before. Therefore, no one would understand, right? And I tell you right now, probably 80% of that 80% in that room that are losing in this game, they have convinced themselves that their problems are unique and nobody can help them. So they stay where they're at. And it's total bullshit. Anybody can be successful. Not everybody can do everything, but anybody can be successful. You just have to find your way. You have to find your
lane,
something that you're going to be good at. Your strategy, your structure, your plan, your blueprint. We all uniquely learn a certain way. We all uniquely are better at one thing than the other, but it doesn't mean you can't be proficient enough at something else that can get you huge, milestones in your career, right? So
facts.
That's something that I had to learn myself, right? Take your ego out of it and realize that God loves everybody the same. He loves all of us, right? And he loves you the most. He loves me the most. He loves you the most, and he made you perfect. He made me perfect. He made everybody perfect. Even your imperfections, right? Your imperfections are perfect. They're there for a reason. So it's like, we want to know what those are, guys. Like you think you're unhelpable? Like, oh, your situation is so terrible. Let us know. I bet you there's a way that we can help you.
Let me dig in. I'd love to help. Yeah. But I got to run. I just got a note that my next appointment is to move some more Clear Spring folks are here. So I got to go back to the battle side. But we'll see y'all next week.
Amazing.
Again, happy birthday, bro.
Thanks, sir.
And we'll see you the very latest next Tuesday. No, next Tuesday because we're off this Thursday.
Yeah, we are. We're not on Thursday. Correct.
All right, brother.
All right, brother.
Have a good one.
You too, man.